Hello and welcome back to Suspended Fanimation. I'm your host, Dennis Bithoulkas, and it's time for Willow Season 1, Episode 4, The Whispers of Nockmaar. Welcome, everybody. Let me take care of some business first, and we'll get down to it. If you like what you see here, like, share, and subscribe. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible to one of the videos in my vast video library and pops it up here just for you. And if you like what you see there, please hit that subscribe button down below there. And if you can, hit that like button, the share button as well. And if you're feeling lucky, or you feel like gambling, you can hit that bell down below. YouTube may or may not notify you when I come on live. Best thing to do is go over to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I have up there. I change it out every week. Also, I have all the links to my social media there and all the links to my pages as well. Also, there's a list of like stuff that's coming out afterwards, all that kind of stuff. So, in the year, I should say, and next year and things of that nature. I have like future stuff that's coming up. So, with that said, spoiler alert, I am going to spoil the episode. If you have not seen the episode, go and watch it. Come on back. This will be a video. You can comment down below in the comment section. Give me enough time to pause and do whatever you need to do to not get spoiled. All right. That's enough time. So, our crew, of course, ends up in the castle of Nockmaar, which is Queen Bavmorda's castle, which we saw at the end of Willow, the movie. And it's a hungry castle, I guess you could say, where it fucks with people's minds. And of course, they need to. Yeah, basically, what they're trying to do is they're trying to exorcise Graydon, who got hit with the ugly stick, if you will, and is becoming evil. And will suffer the same fate as Ballantyne and his men. So Willow and Alora are going to make a concoction in order to draw this thing out of him. Willow just happens to know of a spell that's in one of the books that happens to be in the castle and just grabs it. And the others set out to do whatever they're going to do, make sure that the Gales don't come, calling on them. And Borman, of course, ends up finding a door, he thinks, to a treasure map or to a treasure room, and tries to pick it, and it's not working. Kit ends up finding a tapestry about something with the blood of the sick. She keeps hearing her grandmother's voice whispering about, well, first of all, the oath that she took to the crone, and then also something about the blood of the six. And she sees herself on this tapestry before the tapestry lights up in flames, and she sees herself in a skull crown and whatnot. So she's kind of worried about this, of course. And everyone's having their own they're getting affected by the castle in different ways. Jade ends up seeing General Kale and runs from General Kale, barricades herself in the room. Kit supposedly almost gets eaten by a spiral staircase, which we didn't get to see because budgets, don't allow us to do that. And Borman loses the Lux Arcana, which of course powers the Chimerian Cuirass. This is where we're at. All this is happening while Willow and Alora are trying to exorcise Graydon at this point. So it's a boring episode. I'm just going to say that flat out. It needed to move a little quicker on some things or have some bigger reveals, something like that. This crew who's working on this series are the same people who put together Solo, a Star Wars story. I kind of finally figured this one out. I really wasn't looking too much into it, and it kind of shows why this series isn't working so far. They are trying to basically what they're trying to do is they're trying to work on the nostalgia of the old movie, but throw in nowisms, I guess you can say, and it doesn't work. You need to stay within the setting of the movie. Don't try and bring in modernisms, things of that nature. I'm talking about modernisms in both the what is said and the relatables of those characters to what's happening in the now world. Uh, you don't need that. That's not what this story is about. This is supposed to be a fantasy story. It's supposed to be a mythology story. Go with it. Stick in that realm. Do not try and fucking modernize it. That is where your pitfall is happening. And this is where it's starting to suck, is really because of this. Um, yeah, it's, I mean, the only thing that comes out of this that we get is, once Alora gets, she realizes that she actually does have magic, that her mother was killed there in the castle, uh, and she ends up exorcising the bad stuff out of Graydon. She sees what happened to him, and that he killed his brother, um, Dermot, and it was because he was possessed, actually. So we see that he actually had some kind of possession in him, and he pulled Dermot's foot out from underneath him when they were up in the tree, and that's how Dermot died. He went to the ground. And did she pull all of that out of him? I don't know. We don't know. Also, there's a big question here as to when Alora comes back and finds Graydon supposedly cured, with Willow nowhere to be found. What the fuck happened to Willow? Where did he go? Why did he disappear? We don't know this. Was he looking for water? Was he, out taking a piss? Did he go out for a smoke or something like that? We don't know. All we do know is that Willow ends up, up in the high tower where he told everyone not to go to begin with, um, at a crucial moment. And yeah. So, and at the very end of all of this, once Alora exercises the demons, if you will, she ends up. Well, we end up getting the story about the blood of the six from Willow, but we really don't get the story of the blood of the six, other than that there were fairies, six fairies that brought in dark magic. That's how dark magic came into the world. And of those dark fairies, Queen Bavmorda might have been descended from one of them, and as a result, Eric is descended from them. Sorsha as well, and Kit. Um, and we end up seeing Eric at the very end. There, he is in the immemorial city. He wakes up in a prison there with no one else around. There's ash everywhere, and the city is in ruins. And that's kind of where we leave off with a really bad rendition of Black Hole Sun. Um, and that's the other thing that we need to actually stop in this series too. Stop bringing pop songs, like really bad covers of pop songs, in at the very end. I know you guys think it's cool out there. It's not. It just really sucks. If you can't get the rights to the original songs, don't do it. Just do another John Williams score. Get another composer, something like that, to do something original instead of doing a pop culture song, because that is what's killing this series. This series is again trying to drag modernisms into it, isn't working. It's not supposed to be that way. It is supposed to be fantasy. It's supposed to be otherworldly. It's supposed to be something other than our world. Stop trying to drag our world into that, or vice versa. There, I said it. Yeah, it's out of all of this, Borman is, a character that's okay, even though he's still not saying what he knows. And again, we're going with the I've got a secret bullshit that's happening in most of these series that drives me up the wall. And same thing with Graydon. Graydon's I've got a secret, and now Alora knows some of it, but not all of it, because of course we're gonna have to drag that out of him. Probably by episode 7, somewhere around there, that will drag it out, and it'll be crucial to the story because that's what's going to happen here. Um, yeah, and unfortunately, those are our two best actors. And for a show titled Willow, the lead character, who's supposed to be Willow, we don't see very much of him. He is not the lead really in all of this. Basically, Alora Dan, they should have just called it Alora at this point. Um, and again, this is what is happening with these Disney Plus series is we're having a lot of they're naming it after the character that people know most, and then they are focusing on the other characters that we know least about. And I'm looking at you, Andor. Andor should have been Mon Mothma is really what it should have been about, but no one knows who Mon Mothma is other than really hardcore Star Wars geeks. So there you go. And this is the same kind of pitfall that we're getting here with Willow as well. Yeah, I'm if this continues for episode 5, I'm probably not going to cover episode 5 next week just because it's not fun, honestly. And essentially all I'm doing is just ripping apart the episode instead of enjoying it. And I'm sure it's not fun for everybody watching this, when I'm ripping this kind of stuff apart. And yeah, it's fallen under my 4 episodes and done. If I'm going to be slamming this thing 4 episodes in a row, which I already have, I'm most likely going to cancel it from my uh from my reviews, shall we say. But what else do I have going on for the rest of this week? Well, tomorrow is going to be Doom Patrol. That's right, episode 3 of Doom Patrol, a good show. Um, Friday and Saturday, I'm going to be off. Sunday is going to be the Sunday edition of Saturday Morning Blast Off, where I take the genre news of the weekend and genre stuff you want to talk about when we talk about it. Monday, I'm going to be off. Actually, Monday through Thursday, I'm going to be off. I might do something on Thursday of next week. I'm going to be out vacation, that kind of stuff. So, um, who knows? I might pop in some videos here and there. I doubt it, but you never know. Take a look at the schedule. That's what's going to be. That'll tell you everything there. So, with that said, I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you, well, Castellar, since you showed up in the chat, and thank everyone else out there who's watching the video. If you're still on the fence about subscribing and you know who you are out there, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible to one of the videos my vast video library and pops it up here just for you. And if you like what you see there, please hit that subscribe button down below there. Also, if you can, hit that like button, the share button as well. And if you want to know when I'm going to be on live again next, go over to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I have up there. I change it every week. Also have all the links to my social media there and all the links to my pages. So one thing that actually just hit me and as I was going through my spiel here is we still really don't know what the crone has involved in all of this, why she is trying to banish Alora, what the end game is. Are we bringing something bigger into the world, something big bad into the world? We really don't know. That's the other thing is we don't know what the stakes are for this series, and I think that's another thing that's hurting it too is not having a clearly defined end game in this. What the stakes are, and other than evil is going to take over the country. Okay, the evil is always going to try and take over the country. That's what this whole thing is. But really, what is the plot of all of this? Why are we supposed to be? What are we looking at here, other than some vagaries of some evil that is going to, or well, something that is supposed to wipe the land clean and then rebuild it again, which we've heard all before. So, yeah. There's a lot of wash, rinse, repeat. So the whole thing with Alora at one point being raised up by a possessed Graydon, and her eyes turn white, and you hear bones cracking, and her arms go up, and I was like, oh, Stranger Things. They're all doing everyone's doing the same thing where your eyes turn white, you get lifted up off the ground, your bones crack and whatnot, and then your soul gets sucked out or something like that. So it's like, yeah, okay. Once you see it a couple of times, it's like, okay, move on to something else. Let's, make something a little more original than that. So anyway, enough with the bashing. I'm done with it. Thank you, everyone. I will see you again tomorrow for Doom Patrol. Until then, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, you may have to go into a scary castle that talks to you, because that's what the plot is all about right now at this point, and it's meandering. Thanks, everyone. I will see you again tomorrow. Have a good rest of your night. Stay safe, be well, take care, wear those masks, get those vaccine shots, get the boosters as well. They don't work without the boosters. And stay safe out there, everyone. Thanks. I will see you again tomorrow. Have a good rest of your night. Good night.